Hey everyone! Sorry guys, I have a frog in my throat. Welcome to Transformation Time. Every Thursday we have an episode of either Transformation Time or Re Behind the Scenes. On Transformation Time, our guest speakers get to help you by sharing their personal development stories. My name is Diana Lizarazo, and our guest speaker is Jacqueline, and I believe Leo may be coming on too. And so on Transformation Time, you're gonna get to hear about their personal development journeys and the mindset shifts that they've had to go through to see where they are to get to where they are today, and just to show how it is to get there. So I can see that Jacqueline's on. Let me just invite her in. Okay. Oh, 1 second. Oh, we're there. Okay. Hey, my head's cut off. How are you, Jacqueline? How are you?
I'm good. How are you? So glad to be here with you today. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. I'm excited to have you on, and let's just get started. Let's tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, like what real estate strategy interests you, what your experience is like, anything you'd like to share.
Okay, yeah. So, hi, I'm Jacqueline from Francis 5 Properties. Leo should be hopping on shortly. I don't see him yet, but he'll join us. And we started real estate investing. Our first time was in 2016. And we were very unsure about what we wanted to do. We had that shiny object syndrome, wanted to do everything. And honestly, we thought we were going to be passive investors. That's as far as we wanted to take it. And then in 2019, we had a bit of a shift and thought, we can do this. So we decided to jump full in to multifamily and starting with the burst strategy. So that is what we are currently doing right now.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And so now getting into personal development, like what even got you into thinking about real estate, even as passive partners? Like what made you think about real estate?
Yeah, so it was mainly because we wanted to stop trading our time for money. And we realized how important that was because when you like we owned a business at the time, so we felt that okay, yeah, just because we own a business, it's no problem, we can still do all the things, but then we quickly realized we can't. It's something that we needed to pivot from, and if we wanted to do more of the things we loved, we had to find a way to get more of our time back, and real estate was that vehicle for us.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Sorry, I'm trying to get, it says Francis, but I'm assuming that's Leo.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes,
But
I
I don't
think
know
so.
so Leo, if you're coming on, just I want to, well, I mean, he must be on a phone, but we may have to upgrade your Instagram maybe too. But I did accept it again, so let's see. Hopefully, we can get him on.
Okay.
But that's awesome. And so what kind of things have you had to, or no, actually, sorry, before we get to that, I'm curious actually, what skills did you have from your previous work, from your work or back then, um, or I should say when you started getting active, actually in 2019, when you started thinking like, I can do this, it's something we can do. What skills did you have at that time that you felt were really great in helping you in becoming a real estate investor?
Okay, yeah, great question. So because we had joined in 2016 an educational real estate group, we were familiar with what it was about. And it was something that we knew if we had stuck to it and followed the right people and got the, best guidance, we can do it. So at that time also we started to read Rich Dad Poor Dad. Leo had done an investment on his own with a friend outside of our network and learned a lot from that. But he also knew with those challenges that he faced that if he put his all into really understanding the strategy that we can really excel at this. So that's what we did. It was a pivot. It was a pivotal point where mindset had to change for us, and we had to make a decision that we needed to show up. And
That's
that's where
awesome.
things need to change.
That's awesome. So too bad Leo can't explain it, but hopefully I'm sure you guys have spoken about it. But so what kind of things did he learn from that first time partnering with someone outside of the community? What kind of like learning experiences did he have?
Yeah, he learned that they didn't know what they were doing. So it was a contractor that had come into our home, and they were amazing. They did a great job with our driveway and adding an additional bathroom into our basement. So he had a great idea to partner with Leo, and then when Leo partnered up with them, he quickly realized that sometimes you may be really skilled in one area, but business is a whole different area that if you're not skilled at, you can quickly make mistakes very fast. So they started to lose money actually right off of the sale in itself, right? So that was like the first learning lesson. And because Leo almost trusted in this person, and he was busy with his, career and getting our other business going during the summer, and that's when these renovations were taking place.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to be there, and he needed to be there. He needed to be on site every day, managing and knowing what was going on. So that was an incredible lesson that he had to learn. And I think also just knowing who you're getting into a partnership with, asking them those
Mm-hmm.
questions, and seeing if you have the same goals and same vision.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just gonna respond to Leo. Sorry, I've tried to accept it like 3 times. I'm not sure what's going on.
Okay.
I tried to accept his request, and it doesn't let. I
Okay,
mean, I accept it,
let me
and then
try
it
something
goes
else.
too long.
Let me try something else.
Okay. Oh, okay. I'm going to. Okay, now I'm going to accept. I think it has to do with. Oh, there we go. Maybe we can have to do like trading or something, like you speak one a little bit, then when they're going to be trading. But actually, it's nice that you came on because we were just talking about your first project. Let's hear your
Yes.
your point of view of how that went. Knowledge definitely. You said that you guys just went in without like really looking into it, or what exactly was the problem that you didn't that it didn't go well, or like the lack, what area of the lack of knowledge was it?
Well, like Jack was saying, like when we first started, we didn't we had a first project that we're taking on with a friend out of our network with no education, no experience. We did our first flip back in Toronto, and we quickly learned that we terribly failed. We lost a lot of money on that first deal, and that's when we realized, we had to go back and get some more education and just stay within the network of people and learn from people that's already been doing exactly what we're trying to do, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, I think we got you guys.
There you
There we
go. You got
go.
it. You got it. You figured it out.
We figured it out finally. I guess, yeah, I guess because you guys are both in the account, so I guess we're
Yeah.
probably getting confused.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's
Awesome.
right.
That's great
That's
to
right.
hear
Yeah,
that we can get you both on now.
yeah.
So you're okay. So you think it was just so I guess because you said that you guys started, it was mainly passive side. So you thought you knew enough to be able to get onto the net to get onto a more active project, I guess what it was. Is that why it was the lack of knowledge?
Well, when we started, like Jackie said, we started off, we wanted to be passive, but that quickly changed really fast. So we went from passive to active, like almost immediately, and we realized, in order to really learn the stuff, we got to first be doing it ourselves and doing everything ourselves and learning that way. That's the best way to kind of learn, is just to actually do it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Hmm.
totally agree. I'm in the same boat. I think doing it yourself is definitely, and it's even a faster way. I feel like I've learned. Like you said, like mistakes are going to happen, but I feel like you learn so much quicker because you're like, that's never happening again, you know?
Yes. Yes, and it was actually Leo's idea. He's like, you know what? Let's skip the twosies and the threesies. Let's just go to multifamily. It just made a lot of sense to be able to take care of one problem under one roof, but it had like, you know, however many doors in that one apartment building rather than buying, you know, a duplex or triplex or working on single family homes. And that was just a choice we thought was best for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we did one single family flip and then went straight to multifamily. Or like, forget about the twosies and the threesies. Let's just go straight to multifamily and and see how we could get into that area.
That's awesome.
That's
And then so with that, and this is like gonna go each one of you guys because this is more on your guys' side, each side. But I'll start with Leo first. So Leo, like, because I assume that it sounded like you guys were kind of or now you work a lot more together, right? In the projects, or do you work on separate projects separately?
We work together.
We've been working together. To be honest, we've been working together for about 15 years now because we have another business. Our main business is a trucking company. So we're used to working with each other. And then we started our real estate business, say back in 2016, really active in 2019. So we've been really working together for about 15 years, really. But now we kind of ventured out into other businesses now, and we're still really have a really strong working relationship.
Oh, that's amazing. You guys can read each other's minds by now, probably.
Sometimes we are often on the same page with things, and when we sit down together to brainstorm and come up with how we're going to move forward, it's pretty magical because we can get on the same page very quickly.
That's awesome. And so what skills, like how do you guys, what are each of your strengths and weaknesses?
Well,
in terms of real estate?
In just when you're working together, I feel like in anything you work, I feel like you kind of will divide and conquer, especially with that many years together. I feel like you guys probably really know, like each one will take action on certain things and the other one will take action, on other things just because you guys work together for so long. So I'm curious, like how you guys balance each other out.
Yeah, well, I would say my strength is because I've been managing employees and managing contractors and stuff for 15 years. So I would say that's one of my strengths. And also like just being able to like read situations and read people really well because my background, my environment that I came out of. So I would say those are two of my really good strengths for me,
Mm-hmm.
I would say I'm very organized. I like running the numbers. I like, the fun part of it. I do the, I wouldn't say easy, but easy in a sense that it's the feminine energy that I try to bring to the business, right? So it is being organized, making sure that we have documents in place, making sure that our emails are checked and, our calendar is managed and we know what is happening with all of our properties and our accounts.
Mm-hmm. Very important, right? Got to make sure there's actually some money coming in.
Yeah. And then with the other stuff, we divide and conquer, right? Like we try to show up to networking events together, but if the other one is unable to go, I'll go, or Leo will go. So we work it out that way, but we do try to show up together because we're a team and we're building a partnership.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. That's awesome. And so with being in real estate, and like what kind of skills coming in did you have to learn that, let's say, weren't related to your your other business, that you realized that it was something you had to cultivate to be a real estate investor?
Getting out of your comfort zone. Showing up.
Yeah.
In what way, when you say showing up, curious on in what way do you mean compared to like you're running your own business? Because don't you kind of have to show up in your business too? So I'm assuming you mean in a different way showing up, I guess.
Yes, you're right. And I would say showing up more publicly because in the business that we run, it's within, it's contained in a small group of people. And Leo is the face of that business because he's the one on the front lines dealing with the companies and the drivers and the trucks. But being a real estate investor, we have to be a little bit more public with what we do, who we talk to, and allowing people to get into our lives so we can share about our projects. So that was a huge hurdle for us. Well, not hurdle, but it was something we had to overcome to be able to, even sit on this call with you 2 years ago. We were not those people, okay? We sat at the back, didn't want to engage, didn't want to we didn't even know about networking. We're like, talk to people? We don't want to do that. No. So overcoming that was huge.
Yeah, I'm just gonna piggyback what Jackie said. Like we were like a few years back, we were totally different people. Like we were just like kind of stuck to ourselves. Like you said, we were the type of investors that we go to the real estate event and sit at the back. You know what I mean? Didn't want to talk to nobody. So we're complete different people now. We're introverts, right? So now we put ourselves out there. We go to all the meetups. Learning as much. We keep learning every day. And just showing up, being present, showing our presence, branding ourselves, so that's the difference, we would say, being in the truck, we're by ourselves. I'm in the truck by myself. I don't have to deal with nobody. I just deal with employees and deal with the business owners and stuff. But real estate's a lot different. You gotta be out there. You gotta put yourself out there. You gotta come out of your comfort zone, and you just gotta be present,
Yeah, those are great.
Can I also say it's like a bit of an identity shift? We had to almost, come up with who we wanted to be a real estate investor, because it's not who we currently were at the time. So we had to make pivotal decisions of how we're going to show up, what our mindset is, and who we become as we move forward in this journey.
That's amazing. That's a great point, because it's very true. And I can tell you, I can definitely relate with you guys, because I was exactly the same thing 2 years ago, or 3 years ago. I'm not exactly sure how long it was, but yeah, I was the exact same. Like for me, I'm curious if it's the same for you, but like you're saying, I did not want to be in the public eye. I'm also an introvert, actually, very much an introvert. And so for me to be in the public eye was like zero interest. Like I was like, I don't want anyone's drama. I'm like, I don't want people to be hating me for things. Like I would be the person that was like, I just like wouldn't like to cause chaos or anything, because then it's like, if I'm causing chaos, like people are going to cause me chaos, or like having an opinion online was like a zero interest for me. I'm like, I don't have opinions, Curious, like, what was it for you guys that you didn't want to be in the public eye?
All the things you said. Like, who are we? It was a lot of judgments, right? Like, we hold a lot of judgments about ourselves, and sometimes it's coming into the awareness that it doesn't become about us anymore. It's about the people that we are in front of and the people that we're trying to help as investors grow their business while we're growing our business.
That's great. And Leo, you wanted to add something?
Yeah, I'll just add to that, like the imposter syndrome is a real thing, like I think everybody has it, so you just have to get over those fears and know that, yeah, you are in the right room, you know what I mean? So we were completely different, and plus the background we came from, we're completely different. So we just had to just realize that, have a mindset shift, and realize, we belong in these rooms, we belong here, we could do it, so that's what it is. Yeah,
that's amazing to hear. And so who was the one that pushed first to get more into this, or let's say getting more into the public eye, or like making these changes?
I would say we both kind of came to the realization. We had a conversation with ourselves and said, you know what, we got to do this. We got to change. We got to change who we are. We got to come out of it, because we're comfortable. Like, we're doing all right. Our trucking business is doing all right, but like, we're not satisfied. We're comfortable, but we want more out of life. We know there's a lot more out there for us. So we both had to look at ourselves one year and say, you know what, we both got to change. We got to come out of our comfort zone. We got to have a mindset shift, and we got to just be out there, put ourselves out there, something that's way out of our comfort zone. We gotta make be uncomfortable to be comfortable. So that's we both kind of decided that at the same time during conversations,
I would definitely agree with Leo. It was a collaborative decision, and it just made sense for us to be able to like move forward.
That's awesome. And so, any other kinds of mindset shifts that you'd like to talk about that you guys went through during being a real estate investors?
Yeah, one thing I would say is getting in the right group of people, having a circle or a network that you can connect with that are like-minded. Like I personally was never open to any of this idea. I just thought, hey, you hang out with who you hang out with, right? And then going down self-development, you start to quickly realize, like that quote, right? You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And we saw that quickly with, people we used to hang out with. And our lives completely changed once real estate took a huge, forefront. And the groups that we're in masterminds, and that, helps us become the best of ourselves and keep growing. Lee,
Yeah, and
what do you say?
I would just add to that, like once we changed our circle of influences, our life pretty much just changed, Like our life changed for the better. We changed who we hang out with every day. We changed who we talk to. We changed who we follow. Like once we did that, our life pretty much changed. And also we started investing in ourselves. We started investing into these masterminds, these different real estate educational programs. Once we did those two things, pretty much our life just changed, and then we just never kind of looked back since. We just keep learning every day, keep paying, investing in ourselves, paying to learn, So it's that. I would say that. Yeah.
And
Yeah,
always
great.
being grateful, always being grateful for the journey, for everything that's come into our lives, for all the things that have gone out of our lives, and for just asking for more. Living in gratitude, always.
100%. Yeah, those are great points. Especially, it is true. You start realizing, like you were saying, you're the average of the 5 people you're around with. And I don't know if you noticed that once you start going out and you go into different groups, that isn't it a bit of a struggle to talk to those people again? I feel like you forget how to talk to them, no? I don't know. I at least forgot how to talk to them. Like it's because it's like you get so used to the real estate world. Like it's like I could talk about real estate for hours, and then it's like remembering to like shut that off with other people. You know?
Yeah, it's almost like they're
Oh my
talking a
gosh.
different language.
But your mind, like you expand your consciousness that it's like you can't have basic conversations anymore. Like it's hard for me now. Like I can't sit in a
Yeah,
room where people are either talking about each other or talking about the weather. Like I need more stimulating conversation at this point in my life.
100%. Leo, any comments on it?
Yeah, it's almost like just like yourself. We could talk about this stuff all day, all night, right? So it's like it's almost like you're talking to other people that's not in this world, like this real estate space. It's like they're talking a different language. It's like
Mm-hmm.
if
Yeah,
if they don't really add any value to your life, it's like why even have a conversation? You know what I mean? Like that's just the way I look at it now. We look at it, right?
yeah, 100%. And the value of that community, because I think even another big thing that as we start getting into real estate, and I mean, you guys have been our entrepreneurs, so I'm curious actually if you noticed, I mean, maybe you did notice this, but um, that like once you get into entrepreneurship, real estate investing, that it does become actually very lonely. And like that community, I felt like really helps a lot in just so many different ways. Like not only I feel like the knowledge, but like even sometimes you just need like support, like mental support or other different types of support. I'm curious because you guys like came from entrepreneurship already, you had your business. I don't know, did you notice that?
What I would say is that we always stuck to ourselves. So like people knew we owned a trucking business, but that's as far as it goes in terms of like friends and family and things like that. So when we started getting into the real estate business and surround, like you become what you attract, right? That kind of is the thing that happened to us. So as we started to take action in certain decisions, things started to come into our lives. Networks came, friends came. So then it didn't feel like we couldn't share our successes, our growth, and talking about like, essentially a net worth of, $1 million or more that we couldn't do before in other groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you want
Yeah.
to add to that?
Anything?
Yeah, oh, definitely. So, like for us, like we had to when we first started going to these real estate educational programs, like we'd come from a summit, and we had to figure out how because we could when we leave the summit, like we're on a high, like there's so much we're around a whole bunch, hundreds of investors, so we're like on a high. So we had to figure out how can we keep that high, stay on that high, because you quickly just fall back into your regular life, your regular routine, work life, whatever it is, and you quickly fall back into that, and then you lose that high. So we had to figure out how can we stay up there. So we had to surround ourselves with only real estate investors. Some of our best friends are real estate investors now. Like that's pretty much all we really associate with. That's all we give our time to. We go to all the meetups, go to all the networking events. So that's the only thing that really excites us. So that's how we found a way to keep that hype going, always be showing up to the networking events. All our closest friends, we have them on the phone, on the WhatsApp, on the group chats, whatever it is. So now we're always talking real estate. So that's how we figured out how to stay up here, stay on that real estate high.
It's amazing, 100%. Totally agree. Any other mindsets that you'd like to address that you've conquered in the past?
Keep growing. Like never shut yourself off to the possibility of more coming into your life, right? The more we can offer people service and be of service to other people, whether it's to learn from us or to share our knowledge and what we've done, the more we can expand ourselves and our surroundings. And our growth just keeps, continuing. And you collaboratively affect all those people around you, so it's almost a ripple effect. And then it's choosing the energy that you want to be around, right? Like we got to be selective of our time and who we give our energy to at this point. We are so busy, and as we continue down this path and the other things that come into our life, we're getting more busier. So it's choosing our friends, our circle of influence, the things that we are consuming, whether it's Instagram, the books that we're reading, to develop not only who we are, but to protect our energy from things that, do not align with who we're becoming.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Leo?
Yes, and yeah, I'll add to that too. What we heard the godfather of multifamily say one time, Alfonso Quadra, if you're not expanding, you're retracting. So we always try to keep expanding our mind, expanding our growth. We know we're growing, so right now we're just trying to systemize everything to handle the growth. That's pretty much like what we're doing. Yeah, just keep growing, keep learning, keep investing into yourself, and keep expanding your mind.
That's awesome. And it's so true. And it's funny though, when you realize and you learn that, isn't it kind of scary? Like you're like, oh my God, I need to keep learning. I don't want to go that way.
Yeah,
I don't know,
like
that's why I felt about it. Pardon?
Absolutely. You hold the vision in your mind and you never deter from that vision, right? Because you can bring whatever it is that you want into your life right now, but you just gotta, have the will and determination to continue forward with it.
100%.
Yeah, for me, it's not scary for me. It's actually exciting for me because it's only when I started getting into real estate, I started reading more books, started learning more. Because I wasn't really a fan of school because I find school don't really teach you how to make money. The financial literacy is just not there. So now that I'm actually doing something that we love, that we like, I'm actually excited to keep learning, keep growing. It excites me to pick up a book and read, like before I was never like that, so yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. I was never a book reader either. And it was really funny to see me read a book was like never existent. And then now that people that know me, like my family, they're like, you read books now? You're weird.
No, I told you.
You're like, you didn't want to do this in school, but now you want to do it?
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you. One of my best friends, we were on a plane going to Dominican the other day, and he saw me pull out a book on the plane and started reading. He starts laughing at me. He's like, what's happening in this world now? Like, you're reading a book? Like, I'm like, yeah.
The world is ending. What happened?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So have you guys, so now for your goal, it's like, let's say your 5 to 10 year goal. Feel free if you want to share it too, but curious, what have you guys thought about now? Like, what kind of things are you needing to change now to achieve that like 5 year, 10 year goal? And like that, feel free to share the goal if you feel comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say what I mentioned earlier. For us, it's mostly just systemizing and having to delegate a lot of the stuff. We're in the process of hiring a bunch of people. We're hiring an office manager. We're hiring more drivers. So it's just systemizing and putting people in place to handle the growth, because we know where we're going. We know we're growing 5, 10 years from now. So it's just mainly putting all these systems and people in place to be able to handle that growth. We don't want to wait until we get there. Then we're like going crazy, pulling hairs out, trying to figure it out. So we're doing that now. We're in that process, that transition now of just hiring people, sourcing a lot of stuff out, delegating a lot of stuff. That's my opinion. I would say that's the main thing.
Yeah, I love what Leo said there, because we try to work from the end in mind, right? And what we want, so like our future vision is definitely to create some generational income. We want to have luxury villas. Like we're working in the Dominican, we're working in Curacao, and actually Leo's in Grenada right now, doing just that. So we want to be able to have these vacation rentals and have that like lifestyle where we can move away from the winter, go somewhere warm, and then we have, our properties here in Canada working itself, right? And building that generational wealth. So how do we get there? How do we become that version of ourselves now? So we start putting all these things in place, like Leo said, to handle the growth and to move in the direction that we're going in.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and just to piggyback off what Jackie said, like right now I'm in the beautiful Caribbean islands of Grenada, so we're just down here right now. That's actually where I'm from. I was born here, came to Canada when I was about 8 years old, so it feels good to be back in the motherland. But yeah, we're down here looking at real estate. Anywhere we go now, real estate is so much in our lives. Anywhere we go, we can't help it. We always have to. Any island I go, we're always looking at real estate. I always find ourselves on a real estate tour. So down here looking at real estate, looking at different opportunities down here. So that's what we're doing right now.
That's funny. There's like two things that you said that I find really funny. One was that it's very true how you like look at houses differently, right? And it's like now you go anywhere, if you see something that you're like, I can fix that up, I can do something with that, doesn't matter now where the country is, you're just like looking at it and like it's totally investment sense now, right?
Yeah. We have an investment
so true.
mindset. So you just like you just can't help it. Like, even if you want,
I know. You're just like, those doors look broken or the windows look broken. I'm like, they probably don't take care of it. I'll buy it. I'll take care of it for them.
Exactly.
Can we get private financing? What's happening?
Exactly.
That's so funny.
It's your RAS, right? Our RAS. We always hear about our reticular activating system that's been opened now. So we're always looking at opportunities. Or opportunities just find us because that part of our brain is open.
100%. And so now you said you're in Grenada. Curious, how are you structuring being able to work, get the work done from a distance? Like, do you still have family there and they're going to be helping you? Or how do you have that confidence to run it at a distance? And, I'm sure like you there right now, going back and forth, I guess, when you need to. Like, how has that experience been so far?
It's been good. Like I said, we got family down here. We still got family out here. So, and still we're trying to build a team out here too, but yeah, we got family out here that's really been really helpful, helping us out with the whole process down here. So that's how it's been smooth.
That's good. And in other countries, because you said you have other ones in other places, right? I think you said that you have it.
Yeah.
You have other properties. How about those ones? How did you get over the fears of going to like a country you've never lived in and investing there?
Well, for
Um,
one of the islands, Carousel, I would say there was a bunch of investors that already paved the way for us. So that actually made the process really easy. We knew who to go to. We knew who to talk to. We were very comfortable because they had invested a lot of money into the island and we could see what they were doing. So just following the path, right? Like we're not reinventing the wheel here. For the other one, so that's Curacao. So for Dominican, though, we felt that we had to do all of that due diligence that we didn't do in Curacao because we were confident in everything that we had found there. But Dominican, Leo can attest to this, right? It was a lot of work and, just really vetting who we can trust, what types of properties made the most sense for us because every island is going to be different in what we want to invest in.
Mhm.
yeah, like Jackie said, the Dominican, we were there in August. So since August, we were just on multiple Zoom calls. We're vetting, we're talking to lawyers, realtors, mortgage brokers, accountants. Like we're just trying to build a team, realtors out there. So from August, we're on just multiple Zoom calls for Dominican, trying to build a solid team there, people we could trust. Because like you said, there's a language barrier there. We don't speak Spanish, so it's really tough to find people that you trust. So we're still in that process, trying to vet people out there, trying to just build a solid team out there before we start doing some investment properties out there as well.
That's awesome. And that's a great point that you say that it is, because I feel like something that a lot of people miss is that they think that you can create teams quickly. And I think those are the recipes for the disasters because it's like you go create it
Yeah,
quickly and then when it's quickly you haven't built that foundation enough and then it can break apart. So that's great to hear that you said that because that's something I also try to advocate a lot is that the importance of like really taking your time to like make sure you do create that solid team and not get like rushed with things or get frustrated and be like, oh, I just want to get it done now and instead of
Yeah.
like just taking the time to really have that solid team in place. So that's great to hear that you guys do that too because it is so important.
yes, yes.
Yeah, but that's one of the key things. Like even here, right? We have to have a team in place before we could even move forward with our properties here. So it's just taking that experience and now applying it to overseas investing, right?
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah, great point. And so anything else that you were thinking that changes that you need to make to like are you guys now just fully doing are you guys just thinking about investing abroad now? Or are you still going to think to invest here in Canada too?
No, no, we're still investing in Canada. We got our main investments are in Ontario, but we're just doing other investments in the Caribbean as well. But our main is
The
Ontario, our
main
main investment.
focus is still Ontario?
Yeah.
Yes, our main focus is
We do
Ontario.
want
Yeah.
more multifamily, and I think recently we decided that one of our major goals is to ultimately build a multifamily unit. Like that is where we see our vision moving in the future.
Yeah,
We
that's
love
where
the
Oh,
that's
idea
that's
of
that's where we see ourselves in 5 years or
yeah,
less. Yeah.
doing development?
yes,
Well,
yes,
doing
and
a doing a
we're
multifamily
doing
development,
development right now.
doing a multifamily development. We want to build an apartment building eventually, you know.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
we're
Also, you
we're
guys are doing a development project right now?
yeah, we started the development project now. We bought 2 lots in Durham area and Oshawa. So we're building 2 custom houses on there. So that's our newest acquisition. We're about 2 lots. So we'll be building on those 2 lots. We closed March 6th on that one.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And that's your first development that you done?
Yes.
Amazing and scary. What have
Yeah,
you learned so far? So that's like already in itself like mindset shifts happening. I feel like just in that
Yeah.
one, what do you feel like what kind of things have you gone through mindset wise with just getting that started?
wow.
Well, it's a lot to learn. It's a lot to learn from getting site kind of approval from the beginning, dealing with the city, dealing with all the logistic stuff, and getting it to permit ready. So it's just a lot in between. Thank God for us, we have a team, and it goes hand to hand with the business. My trucking business, I know I deal with a lot of builders, small, medium, and big all the time. So it's only now that we're looking serious in real estate that my eyes are open to all different opportunities, whether it's development, whether it's purpose built, whatever it is. So thank God for us, we have a team and we have connections and we have people in place to do these things and to kind of guide us in a way in our first development, right?
That's amazing. That's great. So your teammates are have already done developments?
Oh yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. Yeah, they do development every day, you know. But that's what they do, yeah.
That's great. That's great that you put yourself in that situation where it's like you guys are the newbies, but you have the experts, you know, to guide you through the way. Because there are like that. I see people that like the whole team is new on it, and then they're like full force into it. And personally, that sounds very scary to me.
It's
Too
no one
much
will know what they're
learning and
doing.
like a lot of chaos happening all at once, you know?
Yeah. Well, here we hear our mentors say one time, if it doesn't scare you, you shouldn't be doing it. So it has to scare you. It has to scare us, you know?
And excite you at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And talking about that, actually, so how do you guys deal with like burnouts and or like stress? Because it is like having your business, your trucking business, and real estate. I'm sure you guys must go through like burnouts or must get stressful at times. Like, how do you handle that?
Yeah, we try to take time out I try to take time out for myself sometimes. Sorry, Lee, I didn't mean to cut you off there. And spending time with the kids or us, going on a date night, not talking about life and like the challenges sometimes, taking like a little vacation or staycation, going to the movie. So it's self-care, right? However you want to look at that, or whatever that means to you, is doing that. For me, it's these things that I just mentioned.
Awesome. What about for you, Leo?
Yeah, like Jacqueline said, the self-care, like 2023 was a big deal for me with self-care because I felt like I almost burnt myself out at one point. So I had to really take a step back, get some passes for the spa. I was going to the spa, spending a whole day at the spa. So this year, 2023, is really about self-development, self-care. So I'm on this big whole thing about that this year. Those are like on my goal list, my life habit changes. So for me, I'll go to the spa for the whole day, or just self-care, doing stuff that make me feel good instead of worrying about this and that, just keeping a positive mind, staying happy, laughing, so those are the ways that I deal with it.
That's amazing. That's great to hear. That sounds like Scandinavian Spots. It's Scandinavian Spots. That's where I go. That's what I go when I'm burnt out. It's like a whole day at the Scandinavian Spot.
Oh my God, you should have a date. I would love that.
Oh, you should. It's like amazing. You feel like you come out a different person.
No, you do. I go to a place in Markham here, a Go place, so it's like it's amazing. You spend a whole day there. There's no clock or no time there. It's like time just doesn't exist there. You go there and you have to spend at least 5-6 hours there to get the experience. So I went there a few times and I just love it,
And I love what you said. You come out feeling a different person, and that's what it is. You're shifting your vibration and your mood from when you first go in, and then you're re-energized. So you're like, okay, I can take on the world now. I am ready to go.
100%. Yeah, that is exactly what it is, and we all need it. And I think, and it's great like that. That's why I brought it up, because I know lots of people, it's like they forget about it, or like that just don't even. Or I think when you're in it, I think it is the hardest. Like sometimes you need even someone to pull you out because you're like, I just have to finish this. I have to finish this. It's like, you become almost like if I don't get it done, then everything's going to fall apart. And sometimes you kind of just need that something to like pull you out and just like, it's okay to take a break,
Yeah. Yeah, and you need to. I think it comes back to building the belief of what type of business you want to run, building the belief of what type of person you want to be as your success grows. So if that means you have to cut yourself off at a certain time and mix rest with play, you have to do that, because you're not going to be able to build a successful business and be burnt out all the time. You're not going to enjoy it. There's going to be no fulfillment. So build the belief of I can do both. I take my rest and I am successful, making money doing both.
Yeah, like for me, break that wasn't even in my vocabulary. I was always just go, go, go. It was only for the last year now I realized, where I almost burnt myself out. Where I'm like, okay, no, I need to take care of myself. I'm getting a little older now, so it's like I got to take care of myself, self care, go to the spa, and really take time for myself. But I never knew what that word meant my whole life. Anybody that knows me knows, like, they don't know anybody that can work harder than me. Like, I outwork anybody that's around me. So, but I've gotten a lot better this year, and like for like a year now, actually. So I'm doing really well with that. Just really taking care of myself now.
Can
That's
I add to
awesome.
that? Leo had to be intentional about doing that. Like, he had to come into that awareness because he could see that it wasn't like helping him to be a better person. So, like I said, he came to the awareness that these are the things he needed to do for himself, fill his own cup up, as we all have to do for ourselves. And then that way he's able to give more when he gives more to himself.
100%. I'm such a believer of that. It's like, if you're not at 100%, you cannot give out 100%. If you're only at 50%, all you can give the max is 50%. So that's like a great point that you said that, because I'm same thing, a believer in that. And sometimes it's also, I don't know if it's in this case, but sometimes, it's also like hitting that rock bottom, right? It's like you have to go down to be like, I need to fix myself and change whatever the situation is, right?
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with that statement. Totally agree. Yeah.
We have choices, right? So you can choose to remain where you are and complain and, do all the things, or you can choose to say, I'm going to take the responsibility for my life and make some changes. And yes, it may seem hard because you've become accustomed to living life a certain way. But if you don't put in that effort to want more from your life, you're going to continue to stay low and, just unhappy.
100%. Thanks so much for coming on. If you guys love what you heard from Jacqueline and Leo, they're going to be tagged on this, so you'll be able to follow them. And if you loved what you see, if you love my shows, definitely like it, and also make sure if you're not following me, definitely follow me. Thanks so much, guys, for coming on. It was awesome to have you on.
No,
Thank you so much for having us. This was great. Great conversation.
Yeah, thank you
Awesome.
so much for having us, man. We appreciate it, Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks so much. Thank you, everyone. Bye, guys.
All right,
We'll see everyone in the next episode.